This lecture will define the term unit of analysis, which is a crucial part of developing your hypotheses, specifying what your unit of analysis will be. And the lecture also will define what the ecological fallacy is, and the ecological fallacy being a major problem that can arise when you don't clearly define your unit of analysis. So, what is a unit of analysis? The definition here is that the unit of analysis is the type of actor, be it an individual, a group, an institution, a country, whatever, that is specified in the researcher's hypothesis. So it's who's doing the action, right? So to think about what this actually means, let's talk through the example of Scottish separatism. In 2014, Scotland had a referendum about whether they wanted to secede from Great Britain and gain independence. So you, as a researcher, are interested in this. But note, the succession or failed secession of Scotland from Great Britain, that's a general topic. It's not a hypothesis. So you could look at this general topic through different units of analysis. So first of all, you might look at it by examining the strategies used by the Scottish National Party, the SNP, to convince voters to vote in favor of independence. So at this level, the unit of analysis would be the party and the actions that the party takes in convincing voters. So what kinds of appeals do they make, and how they decided to use those different appeals. You might also look directly at voters. So you might look at which kinds of voters are most likely to vote in favor of independence. Perhaps you have a hypothesis that younger individuals are more likely than older Scots to vote in favor of independence because they're more mobile and they are looking to develop their own country. So the key point here is that you have similar topics, the same event overall, the 2014 referendum for independence, but you have different levels or units of analysis. The first one is going to look at the party as a unit, and the second will look at individuals as the unit of analysis. The reason why this is so important is because you can have something that's called the ecological fallacy in your research if you don't carefully define your unit of analysis. An ecological fallacy is when you infer a relationship between characteristics of individuals based on a group or aggregate data. So what does that mean? It means that you are making false conclusions based on your data. So thinking about the Scottish example again, an ecological fallacy could arise if you are looking at voting trends on aggregate and making conclusions about individual voting behavior. So remember the hypothesis we had that younger people were more likely to vote for independence. So you would say, well, younger people are more likely to be in cities. You'd find data that says, yes, young people are more likely to be in cities. And then maybe cities in general voted for independence. So a researcher who's making the ecological fallacy would say, yes, that's clearly the problem, or that's clearly what's going on here, that you have individuals in cities and they are voting in favor of independence because of their youth. The problem is, with this example, you don't actually have any evidence that the ones who are voting for independence in those cities were the young people. Young people are more likely to be in cities, but maybe 100% of the youth voted against independence. So we haven't actually assessed the behavior of that individual, and that is the problem. You'd be making a false conclusion. So in sum, it's essential to state your unit of analysis and to make sure that the data that you collect for your hypothesis is really measuring that unit of analysis.